Hey garden friends, today we're going to talk about planting climbing vines that can transform your garden from seed, that makes it budget friendly and just so much fun to do. So let's get rolling. Why would we want to grow climbing vines? Well, there are so many reasons. You can create a privacy screen, having them grow up a trellis, a DIY trellis. I've got a few I need to make this year, and I'll take you along as I do it. But yeah, what a perfect way. If you have a balcony, a porch, or whatever that faces a neighbor or it's exposed to any view, you don't want people looking in, or you want to create a cozy little nook, climbing vines are a perfect way, and many of these that we will mention today grow very fast. So they're perfect for creating that privacy screen as well as providing beauty. Another reason, if you have a very small garden, is just one more area or layer of the garden that you can grow something. And growing from seed is so much fun. It's very rewarding. Takes a little time, but you know, most worthwhile gardening chores do. So that's that. You can have it grow along a fence. Just, I have a picket fence out front, and I have clematis, climbing roses, and last year I also did some morning glories on it. It's just beautiful. So I would like to grow some of these other vines on it and try them as well, because it's a great sunny spot. So all of those reasons are great. Want to provide a privacy screen, just add another layer of beautiful flowers in your garden or over an arbor or an obelisk. All of those, it's great. Also, some of these are scented, so that'll bring that element of scent into your garden. So let's get rolling with what vining flowers we can grow from seed and enjoy. So first of all is Cardinal Vine. Cardinal Vine has this feathery foliage, red flowers, pollinators and hummingbirds love it. And so it's just a beautiful, I don't know if it's fast growing. Let me look. I got my list here of everything about it. So yes, it's fast growing. It could quickly cover a trellis or arbor, adding a vibrant pop of color. Soak seeds overnight before planting directly in sunny areas and provide a trellis or fence for support. Yes, with the soaking of seeds, be sure you only do it for 8 hours. Don't let any of them go longer, because they will rot and then just turn to mush. So just be aware of that anytime that you soak seeds. Some people will clip or nick the seeds. I found that too fiddly. Soaking works. You just got to be careful that you don't overdo it. You could also put them in a moist coffee filter or paper towel. I prefer coffee filters. And then slip them in a plastic bag to soak. They will not rot as quickly, so if you get delayed, you have a little bit more time there, but still you need to plant them as promptly as possible. Now, the deal with the using the coffee filter rather than the paper towel is that if it should happen to sprout roots before you get it planted, then with a paper towel, I have found that the roots will intertwine with the paper towel fibers. Coffee filters are much more finely woven, and they don't do that as readily. So yeah, only because I've gotten caught because I didn't plant things soon enough or catch that they had sprouted in there, that I know that. So you want to plant the seeds directly in well-draining soil after the last frost. Now, some of these are warm weather varieties, or ones that prefer warm weather. And water regularly to keep the soil moist but not soggy. Now, I don't know if you can start Cardinal Vine early, but some of them you can. Some of them don't like their roots disturbed, and that's why you're better off direct sowing them. So the next one on here is Cypress Vine. And I haven't grown this one myself yet, but it says, with its finely divided fern-like leaves and dainty red, pink, or white flowers, Cypress Vine is a favorite among pollinators. Anything that attracts the pollinators, it's a go for me. I do have seeds of this. I will start them this year. We'll see how it goes. So with Cypress Vine, it's also a rapid grower. Soak seeds overnight before planting directly in sunny areas and provide a trellis or fence for support. Cathedral Bells. Cathedral Bells are so beautiful. It's also known as cupped saucer vine. Yes, they're very, very delicate looking. Though last year I grew it up my DIY greenhouse, my bespoke greenhouse, and I got the beautiful foliage and the vines, but it never did bloom for me. Now, maybe I have too short of a growing season and it likes it very warm. So yeah, I didn't get the benefit of the flowers, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to find another spot for it that's even hotter, longer, and see if I can get them again, or get it to flower this time. So there's white and there's purple. Those are the two colors I know of it comes in, and the little delicate, that's why it's called cupped saucer vine, the little upside down bells that hang. They look kind of like cups and saucers. But I know Danielle over at North Lawn Flower Farm, she had them bloom for her. And the one trick when planting the seed is to plant it sideways in the soil. I think I saw that on a British garden show, and how it will germinate even better if you do that. Now, I guess it is one of them that you can start indoors early. It says, yes, start seeds indoors 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost, and transplant to a sunny location with sturdy support. Mine had the wire mesh or trellis on the front of the DIY greenhouse, but yeah. And it says that the flowers shift from green to purple, so I guess they first come out green. So warm climate's perfect for adding a touch of elegance to your garden. I agree with that description. This heater's getting me a little hot. Okay, this is one I have seeds for, and I definitely want to try this year, and that's exotic love vine. So it's also known as Spanish flag. So it's has cascading flowers that change from fiery red to yellow as they mature. So showstopper in any garden. Thrive. Most of these are full sun. I will come across one, I'm sure, or two that will do well in the shade, but from my experience, most of these like full sun. Okay, sow seeds in warm soil after the last frost, and water consistently to ensure robust growth. Now, here's where I want to interject something. Many people will ask, what zone? These are annual vines. It doesn't matter what zone at all. What matters is your last frost date. As you see in here, it'll say plant these after your last frost date. Different zones or the same zone can have different frost dates. That's why you can't go by zone. So I just wanted to make sure you understood that. So hyacinth bean vine, yes, I grew the purple one last year or the year before. What's great about the hyacinth bean vine is you not only get the purple flowers, if you grow the purple one, there is a white one, but you also get the bean pods on it. And they are really pretty. They're ornamental as well, and you will get tons of them. Once you plant a vine and get it going, you will have seeds forever. I don't know if it reseeds for a lot of people. Mine didn't, so I had no trouble with that, but you never know. Some areas it may. So it's fast growing, makes a stunning addition to trellises or fences, provides edible young pods. I didn't try to eat mine. For the adventurous gardener. So obviously they're safe to eat if you choose to try them. Maybe I will. So plant seeds directly in full sun, and ensure the soil is rich and well draining for the best results. Good to know. Now here's one I want to try. I think I did plant it, but I think I oversoaked the seeds, and that's why I didn't get any results. Fragrant Moonflower Vine. The name says it all. So it says, no romantic evening garden or a moon garden would be complete without the luminous, iridescent trumpets of Moonflower. I love that description. This came off a seed packet, so that you can know where I got that. These fragrant southern bells boast large heart-shaped leaves that create a dense green canopy. At dusk, the opalescent buds unfurl in slow motion, releasing a haunting perfume as they flare wide open to reveal delicate throats marked with creamy stars. Doesn't that just sound yummy? Perfect for a fence or sunny, sturdy trellis, Moonflower will make your garden magical after sunset. My idea for this is to plant it along my rose alley that's in my rose cottage garden where I have the arbors spaced apart and I have climbing roses over them. I think it would be gorgeous to plant these alongside the roses, and then in the evening when I take my walk through the rose garden, that it'll be heavily scented with these as well. I just think that would be super fun. So let's see. Soak seeds overnight. Again, make sure not to do it too long. And plant in full sun with moist, well-drained soil. Provide ample support for these vigorous climbers. Of course, I would plant them on the arbors, the arches that I have through my rose. I call it my rose allée because when in the European gardens where they have them where you walk through a tunnel of roses, that's what it's called. Okay, morning glories. Now I know that there are states that morning glories are invasive and you're prohibited from planting them. So please check your state, make sure that they are not considered invasive in your state. I love morning glories. They are not invasive here. There are some that are more vigorous than others. The Grandpa Ott, which is a very old variety, that one can be very, very vigorous. I've planted this flying saucer and other ones that have white, and then the two have crossed. And now I get lighter blue ones, etc. And they're really pretty. They have a star in the middle, and they will reseed readily. But it's super easy for me if they're in an area I don't want them, I just skim right across the surface of the soil where the seedlings have popped up, cut them right off. We're good to go. But they will continue to sprout year after year. And you do just have to weed them out like that if they're in areas you don't want. In other areas, I just let them go. They cover the back fence beautifully, and they do great. So, classic favorite, morning glories enchant gardeners with their cheerful blooms that greet the day before closing by afternoon. Available in a rainbow of colors. Yes, they come in reds. I don't know if there's a yellow one. There are some very exotic varieties. The Japanese have bred some really beautiful ones. There's some that are like chocolate milk and they have these mauve brown colors. Very interesting. Those may be a little bit harder to grow. Now I know the Heavenly Blue, which is one of my favorites. They have big, just the brightest sky blue flowers with a white star in the middle with a yellow at the center of the flower. But they love it really hot, and they take a long time for they start blooming. And if I get flowers, it's usually not until September. Last year I planted some. I did not get any at all, but it's because the plant succumbed to spider mites. I had a big spider mite problem last year. But I will always plant Heavenly Blue because I love the flowers, and even if they're late in the season, they're worth it. They don't take up a lot of space, and they're just gorgeous to enjoy. So make sure you try Heavenly Blue. That's a perfect one. So that's another one. Sow seeds in a sunny location after the last frost and water regularly to encourage continuous blooms. Yeah, they'll continue to bloom. And they keep blooming higher and higher up on the plant. So wherever you have them, just be aware of that. Also, that's another one to soak the seeds, but don't soak them too long. Runner beans. Now, these are actually a vegetable, but they have the most beautiful flowers. These ones that I will link. There's 3 different ones, I think, that are red flowered at Renee's Garden Seeds. One's called Scarlet Runner Bean. Anyways, but you get the beautiful flowers and you get the vegetables that are very tasty. So I'm going to read the blurb here. It says, for those who want beauty and utility, runner beans offer bright red flowers and edible pods. They are ideal for garden structures like teepees or arches and make an excellent addition to edible landscapes. I think they're an excellent addition to your flower beds, and then you get the benefit of both worlds. You get the beautiful flowers, and then you get to enjoy the runner beans. But also, beans are a legume. They will fix nitrogen in the soil, so that's another benefit. So plant seeds directly in rich, moist soil and ensure adequate support for these vigorous climbers. I do believe this is something you can start early in 6-packs or whatever and put out. Just don't start them too early because then, yeah, anyways, it's something you can start indoors a few weeks ahead of your last frost date. And it's not just your frost date you have to be aware of, it's the soil temperature, because a lot of the warm temperature lovers will just sit there and sulk if the soil is too cool. And a lot of times, like for me, planting zinnias and stuff, I have to wait till like mid-June before I do that because our soil stays so cool. Because our last frost date's the end of May, and we even get snow at the end of May. So, sweet peas, everyone's favorite. It is one of my favorites. In fact, I've got some growing right now. This is January. They've sprouted. They're about 6 inches tall because we've had such warm winter so far. They'll be fine. They will just hunker down if we get cold weather and continue to grow once it warms up again in spring. But famed for their intoxicating fragrance and delicate blooms, sweet peas are a must for cottage gardens. I agree with that. These climbers thrive in cooler climates and are perfect for trellises, fences, or even hanging baskets. Now, Renee's Garden Seeds, they have one that's made specifically for hanging baskets, so be aware of that too. Sow seeds in early spring or fall and choose a site with full sun and well-draining soil. They also benefit from the soaking. Some people will say nick them, but I just soak them. Now, when I plant mine early, like the ones that are out in my garden, I didn't soak them. They were soaked by the moist soil of the winter rains, etc. So in that case, you don't, you know. And if you winter sow some people have winter sown them, you don't have to soak the seeds either. But if you're going to start them early indoors for outside planting, soaking the seeds does help them germinate faster. It's not a must. You can skip it because the soil moistness will help them to break dormancy. Okay. And I'll say the one place that I love getting sweet pea seeds is from Sweet Pea Gardens. And she has the choices of varieties that is unparalleled elsewhere, and you would love some of her selections. But I think, Renee's Garden Seeds also has some that you can buy. I didn't check. The Dollar Tree seeds might have some too. Usually they're a mix, but that's okay too. Okay, Thunbergia, black-eyed Susan vine. I love the white one. And then one year I grew the pink one. I've never been able to find the seeds for the pink one, but I bought the plant in a 4-inch pot at Annie's Annuals, which is now called Curious Flora. And I love that thing. It covered our back wall of the alley. I wanted it to climb the fence, and it ended up just draping down the wall beautifully. And it was gorgeous, and it bloomed nonstop, and I didn't have to do anything to it but keep it watered. And yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. But you can grow them from seed, the white and the orange. And here it's talking about the orange. It says, Thunbergia is a fast-growing climber and sunny yellow or orange blossoms centered by dark eyes. It's perfect for adding warmth and charm to small spaces, such as a balcony, railing, or patio containers. Yes, they do grow very well in containers. Start seeds indoors 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost and transplant to a sunny location with trellis or other support. Now, last year I put it on my back deck up against the wall. That spot didn't get enough sun, so it didn't do well there. So I will try in another spot and I try again. And I want the white. I should try the orange too, and maybe the Dollar Tree will have seeds of that. Now here's one not a lot of people hear about, but it's also a fragrant one, and it's very interesting, the flowers. It's called Corkscrew Vine. So it's known for its unique spiral-shaped flowers, corkscrew, and lush foliage. Corkscrew vine is a fascinating addition to any garden. The fragrant blossoms range in color from pale lavender to deep purple. And this vine thrives in warm, sunny locations. It's perfect for creating an exotic and whimsical feel. Yes. I thought I had seeds of that. I'm going to look. I would really love to grow that one. Start seeds indoors and transplant to a sunny spot after the last frost, ensuring well-drained soil and sturdy support. I think that would do good on my front arbor that has my Eden rose on it. Eden roses, because there's one on each side. But yeah, that would be beautiful. Now here's another vegetable that you can grow as a beautiful vine, and it's called Magnolia Blossom Sugar Snap Peas. So this striking variety of sugar snap peas combines beauty and function. Magnolia Blossom Sugar Snap Peas produce lovely purple and pink blossoms that attract pollinators. followed by sweet, crisp pods, perfect for snacking or adding to salads. This sounds like a win-win, just like those scarlet runner beans. These climbers thrive in cooler weather and grow well on trellises or fences, adding charm to your vegetable garden. Sow seeds directly in the early spring or fall. It's kind of like my sweet peas. And provide trellis or netting for support. Keep the soil moist but not waterlogged. And one thing I'll have to say about sweet peas, that I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, sweet peas. Now for many people, they'll only grow in spring. And then when it turns hot, they will not grow, they bloom. They won't bloom for them anymore. But I would say just keep them watered, keep them pest and disease free. Come fall, when it cools down, they'll begin blooming again. A lot of people just yank them out when they're seemingly done, because sometimes they do succumb through the hot weather to like powdery mildew or spider mites or something like that. If you can keep them healthy, just give them a chance and they'll start reblooming. Now for me, in some areas of my garden, they will bloom all summer long, and that's because we have cool nights, even in the summertime traditionally. Last summer, we had a lot of very warm nights. And in the one area that they did the best that way, they got morning sun and afternoon shade. So they did really well as far as blooming all season long as I kept them picked, and that's one thing you need to do to keep sweet peas blooming, is to pick them or cut them. And yeah, so they're a winner in my book across the board. And if you live in an area that, is cooler than others, then they are super win vine for you. So let's do this. Tips for growing climbers from seed. Start indoors. Yes. Many climbers benefit from being started indoors a few weeks before last frost. Use peat pots or seed trays with good drainage. Now, I don't use peat pots. I have not had success with them. Some people say they're great for those seeds or plants that don't like their root disturbed. I have found them to be terrible. So I've even used the poo pots and not had success. So yeah, I love these. I can see where the roots have, grown down. I've had no trouble in potting them up or with root disturbance. So yeah, a lot of people like to use soil blocks, and then you just plant the whole block. I've not really found success with soil blocks. To me, they're too high maintenance. And yeah, I'm more of a hands-off, easy, lazy gardener. And the pots help to maintain the moisture, etc. You're not watering as often. So, but if you want to try soil blocking, go right ahead. Everybody's different in what they like. So, soak seeds. Some seeds, like morning glories and moonflower and sweet peas, have hard coatings and germinate better after soaking in water overnight. Or, as I said, the coffee filter that's moistened. Support. Yep, all of them need support. Some of them will need help getting started or to cling to a support. So have like the little plant clips ready. I use strips of old pantyhose, and that works for me. And the benefit of those is they turn green as they've been out in the garden. And so they just kind of blend in with the garden. So yeah, provide support and something to hold them onto that support until they start twining themselves. So choose the right spot. Most climbers, many of these that I spoke about, prefer full sun, but check specific requirements for each variety. Yes, like the sweet peas, in some areas they will prefer morning sun and afternoon shade to grow well and to bloom well, or to keep blooming. So water regularly, keeps soil evenly moist but not waterlogged. Mulching can help with retained moisture, and that kind of goes across the board with most plants. You don't want to overwater and cause problems there. So, growing vines from seed is not only very effective, but it's so cheap or budget friendly. If you're in a garden, on a garden budget like me, then this is one way to get these to grow for you on the cheap. So check your Dollar Tree or Dollar General or whatever for climbing vine seeds. And also, many of these are on Renee's Gardens website. I will link to them individually, so my description box is going to be long, but I'll go to that work for you so you can go directly to that plant or seed if it's available there. I will try to find where the other ones are available elsewhere if they're not on Renee's Garden's site. So I think that's it for vines you can grow to expand your garden, make your small garden look lusher, bigger, more full of flowers. And cover that ugly fence or a trellis. Just have fun growing some vines from seed. And many of these you can save seed for the next year. And yeah, then you no longer have to buy seeds. It's great. All right. I will see you in my next video.